Hi Jubilee family, my name is Lara and I've been at Jubilee and Observatory for a number of years now. Carissa asked me to share a bit about my story, and since 2020 has been a really rough year for all of us, I'm hoping that through my story you can be encouraged that it is possible to see evidence of God's goodness even in the midst of difficult times. In January 2017, I started having hearing loss and chronic ear infections in my left ear, and what followed was seeing 4 different ear specialists, taking several courses of antibiotics, and undergoing a series of minor surgeries to try and diagnose the problem. After 2 years of this trial and error, God led us to the 5th ENT in Pretoria, and after a 3.5-hour operation, he finally found the cause. I was diagnosed with multi-drug resistant TB of the middle ear and skull bone, a potentially life-threatening disease. The infection was in a part of my skull that was also quite close to my brain. This is a very rare form of TB, which was why it was so difficult to diagnose and much harder to treat. I'm a physiotherapist by profession, and so I likely contracted this due to my exposure to TB in the hospitals where I worked. I ended up going on an intensive treatment regimen consisting of 26 tablets a day for the next 18 months. After only 2 weeks of terrible side effects, however, I sustained liver damage due to the harsh medication and had to be hospitalized for a few weeks, during which all treatment had to be stopped until my liver recovered. I remember lying in hospital waiting to have a very unpleasant liver biopsy and asking God why this was happening and what his purpose and plan was in this. I also remember having thoughts of, is this it? Am I going to die? I opened up my daily Bible app, and the verse for that day was from 2 Corinthians 12:19. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. And I really felt God saying that I didn't need to know what his plan was at that moment, but I needed to trust that he would give me sufficient grace and strength that was needed in order to get through this. And I immediately felt strengthened, and from then on I could really see evidence of God's goodness and power being displayed through my weakness and through my condition. From August last year, after my liver had recovered, I was able to tolerate my new regimen of 18 tablets a day. I had to be put off work because medication made me tired and weak all the time, amongst other side effects. But through it all, I experienced aspects of God's nature that really kept me going. I felt his love and goodness in the form of my amazing husband Steve, who served me dutifully without complaint. And God gave us inexplicable joy and love for each other in the midst of this painful time, which really strengthened our marriage. God also provided for us financially when I was not able to work for this entire period. I experienced God's kindness through incredible family and friends who supported us in so many ways, both practically and emotionally. A brain scan that was taken in February this year showed a clot in a layer surrounding my brain, which meant that the treatment wasn't working and that the TB was possibly spreading. This was the time when I really thought, okay, this is it. God is taking me home to be with him. So many people prayed over me, and Jubilee elders and friends laid hands on me at church. And I came to a point of feeling at peace with whatever God's will was for my life. And miraculously, the next scan that was taken a few days later, just to check exactly where the clot was, showed no clot on the scan, and it basically disappeared. This was when I really felt God's power at work, and it was such an encouragement to keep fighting. And now the end of treatment is in sight, with only 2 months left to go. I'm down to 7 tablets a day, and although I still have some side effects, I'm definitely stronger than I was before, not just physically, but spiritually too. Looking back on this journey, I feel that God has really used this difficult season to draw me closer to him. I've been able to delve deeply into His Word, prioritize quiet times with Him, and use this testimony as an encouragement to others. This shows that God truly does work all things for our good and for His glory, and that He gives us glimpses of His goodness, even when we are in the valley and feel like there's no hope in sight. To anyone who needs to hear this right now, I really pray that you are able to see Jesus in the midst of your struggle or suffering, and that we can trust in His goodness and perfect timing to get us through whatever comes our way. God bless you all. Bye.